And this is where you get to interact with us live and direct, ask your questions directly, and tupiga hii story. Na kama kawa kama dawa, we normally start our show by kutuma salamu. However, today I would like us to take a different tone. It has been a sad week for the country, and sometimes it's good to really bring this up and get to talk about things that affect us on a daily basis. It's sad what is happening, and maybe we would like to make a clarion call to the government to try and make sure that Albert and the family get the justice that they need. And let's stick to the words of our national anthem: may justice be our shield and defender. Karibuni sana to Konnekt Live, na sasa tuanze kuchapa story. Wangapi wameingia? Kama kawaida, ukiingia unatuambia where you're watching us from, and then we will get to the Q&A part. However, today our show is segmented into two. We are having this segment where we get to have a Q&A, and then the next segment we are going to have Tom here so that we can finish up with the KRA new CRSP manenos and try to answer those questions, because throughout the week these questions have been coming from all directions. Now, the other thing is that we did a review recently of the BYD Lion, and I hope watu walionaona hiyo gari. It's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. If you have not watched that video, it's on the channel. This week we gave you what we call a super week, because we had two episodes. We had an episode on Sunday and we had an episode on Monday, and we still have more coming your way to see how you get to sample our new scope of content. But sasa wacha turudi hapa kwa Konnekt Live. So let me see, wa kwanza ni nani? Naona Achieng Frederick anasema salamu kutoka Shamahoho, very ready for Wednesday. Karibu sana Achieng. Benson Chege, hello cousins. Jay's Garage anasema hello cousins, salamu kutoka Dagoreti. Asante sana Jay's Garage. Jay ni jamaa fulani yako fiti sana pale fabrication. He does adapter plates for in case we want to make a transmission to an engine, kama umefanya engine swap and it's not a complete swap, so he can adapt your gearbox, he can adapt your wheel hubs and spacers, he can adapt even turbochargers, and he does a very good job. We have Benson Otonda tuned in from Los Angeles, aka Lusengeli. Karibu na Shamahoho. Waluya mtatuonyesha maneno bana. We have Evans Wambogo live from Roiro. Harmless Level tuned in kama kawaida. Na Harmless unakuanga wapi? Harmless is also a very big fan of Konnekt Live. We have Identity Rides anasema ako live, and we had the privilege of hosting Eriko from Identity Rides at Neon Mobility in Eldoret. Pale garage yetu safi sana iko pale. So karibu sana Identity, thank you for paying us a visit. Jay's Garage anasema, do you enjoy the power figures with your Mark II Grande, especially picking power and overtaking na kupanda mlima Kinungi? Jay's Garage, kidogo hiyo kitu haikunipatia the thrill I wanted, and that is why I decided to get it a 2JZ 3-liter inline 6 engine. So very soon I think watu wataiona kwa barabara. So Jay's pale itengenezea ka exhaust kakubwa kidogo kenye hakapigi makelele ya necessary na kenye hakapigi pia si loud sana, to make the vehicle sound good. So with the 2J, I'll be getting around 217 horsepower, which is a major upgrade from what I'm getting now from the 1G FE. Antis Mons anasema hello cousin Mwalimu Eric. Asante sana Antis. Metro News hayo Kabi Monster tuned in live from Sotik Bomet. Na ukienda pale Bomet kuna mahali kuna itangwa Mulot. So ukifika pale Mulot unazima simu. Otherwise vijana wa Mulot watachangamka sana. We have Band Family Brian tuned in kama kawaida live from Juja. Egesela sio Kimau kwa vumbi, watu wa kuchange air filter mara 3 in one service. Anthony Mwanzia anasema mambo ni live. So what do? Let's get straight to the point. Let's get up close and candid with this Q&A session. So tuanze na watu wa maswali. I cannot see questions in the comment section bana. Hizo maswali zinakuja wapi? I can see Jose Nderi from Nyeri is here. Awesome show as always. Gotea Tom sana. Tom wa Grande Motor Imports anakuja tu saa hii. In fact, mpatie kama kitu kama 20 minutes hivi, he will be here. Harmless is asking, we need some content on the trooper. Harmless, wewe relax, because you know what, we got you. Ile kitu mnakuja kuona ya trooper, you're not ready for these guys. You're not ready. Sawa. We have John Kango Singh. Kango ame report kama kawaida. Wakabi, good evening. Leo sisi watu wa Ruiru tunakapitia blackout. KPLC washughulikie makuzo bana. To anyone watching us na is affiliated to KPLC, Morioki from KPLC, tafadhali shughulikia watu wa Ruiru, wanasema wako na blackout. Wafanyie jambo wasimiss show leo. Na nashangaa ni kwa nini numbers bado hazijafika mahali tumezoea. Chris Kainda is saying, good evening Wakabi, watching you live from Embakasi. Siku hizi I'm tuned in. Sipitwi. Thanks sana for taking your time and having these live sessions. Asante tena. Hopefully to learn. Asante sana Chris. Nyamkongo is in, locked in members. Na ule jamaa anasemanga ako in kama Maureen ako wapi? Sijamuona leo. So Benson Otonda is asking, can 1NZ or 2NR engines be tuned for more power? That's a very controversial topic. Yes, they can, but you do not expect much. It's not even viable. So probably what you can do is get a cold air intake. You see, with naturally aspirated engines, unless they are the big ones, you might not really get a significant power upgrade. And you see, even for naturally aspirated engines, again, as long as you don't, with a turbocharger, you can always play around with a few things. With NA engines, you do not really have much to play around with. But the 2NR and the 1NZ, those ones are engines that are, they are more designed towards being economical, irrespective of how reliable they are. But there are some guys who are doing some fine tunes on them, so you can check them out. We are hoping I'll get some contacts. I know there's a guy called Solo from Pale X and it's Solo. He has some links of somebody who can actually try to tinker with your 1NZ engine. Movie show anasema, hey, which one would you take, RAV4 2011 or Toyota Fielder? Bwana, hiyo comparison ni kubwa sana, because RAV4 is very versatile. It's very unlike the Fielder in terms of ground clearance, four-wheel drive capabilities, nini ingine, even space. I think it all depends on number one, what's your intended use of the vehicle. That is something that will answer the question. But definitely mimi hapo naona kama italingana na nini na what you, unajua uwezi fanya RAV4 ikuwe taxi and then uwezi fanya Fielder ikuwe off-roader. So it depends with your intended use of the vehicle. Producer Nyerere Evans, swali ni hatuwezi andamana kama watu wanapenda magari pia. Owners wa magari tufike KRA wapunguze taxes on new vehicles. Producer Nyerere, manze, yeah, I think there are ways to lobby, and I believe the Motor Vehicle Importers Association is trying to lobby KRA, especially on the new CRSP. We have not had anything just yet, but we hope we'll be getting any communication, because definitely something needs to be done. That one I have to agree with you, Bwana Nyerere, because we are going back to the days when there was one car in the village. Ama to own a car you need to be a millionaire. Sababu sahi gari za below 1 million bana ni kama hakuna. Egesela is saying V6 Crown engine, ikiblow gasket, should one overhaul the engine or replace the whole engine with a slim one? Egesela, one thing, the V6 is on the Toyota Crown. One thing you should know is that, and the reason why I like my Mark II is because my Mark II has a cast iron block and an aluminium head. So with the Crown, you have an aluminium block and 2 aluminium heads, because haina cylinder head moja, it's a V6. So you have a cylinder head on this side and a cylinder head on this side. Yes. So in case the head gasket blows, it depends on which side itakuwa imeblow wapi. What's the design of that 3GR? It's a V6, yeah. So anyway, let's not try and sitaki kupatiana information si correct, but with these aluminium blocks and heads, most of the time the best thing is actually to just get a slim engine, because even when you try to rebuild it, most of the time these engines warp, and if the cylinder head warps, it can always be skimmed, but if the block warps, then that means you need another slim engine. So to be safe, just get a slim engine on the crown. But there are, I would like to know, crown ilichemka ukifanya nini? It would form a very good topic on on research. Metro News is saying, what's your opinion on the reliability of the Suzuki Swift Sport 1.4 turbo booster jet? It's a nice car. It's actually more of a sports car at a budget. It's not fast, but it's fun to drive. Yeah, it's not very fast. But in terms of, it's a light car. It's very nimble. It has amazing steering response. So it's a vehicle that is quite fun to drive. In terms of reliability, it's quite reliable. And if you're getting the Suzuki Swift Sport, a real Swift Sport, it will come with a stick shift. So in terms of reliability, iko tops. In terms of having fun to drive, you will actually get to have fun driving that vehicle. We have Crypto Forex Geek. Karibu sana, anasema mambo vipi. Mohammed Amin Yusuf. What's the impact of duty increment that is effective from next month on the finance bill 2025-2026? Will it increase the price for those cars already in showrooms, unlike importing one? One thing that I have to be very clear about, definitely it's going to impact the prices of even the vehicles in the showroom, because you can imagine, assuming I'm selling this Range Rover of ours, we just imported it. So let's take a theoretical duty of 1 million Kenya shillings. So if I'm selling this car to you at 2.4 million Kenya shillings, if that is inclusive of my margin, if I less the CIF, which is about 1.4 million, it means that if I import another Range Rover, and now the duty say for it is 1.5 million Kenya shillings, it means that the money I used to sell this Range Rover cannot import another Range Rover for me. So yes, definitely we will get to see some price increments because dealers have to replace their stock. I hope that example was clear. Sawa. Twende kwa who else? Paul Kimimi is asking, hey Eric, apart from engine rebuild, how else can I get more power from my 94 Subaru Legacy TSR? Great show. Asante sana. Paul Kimemia, well, is it naturally aspirated? If it's naturally aspirated, then your needs are limited. But if it's turbocharged, you can always you can play around with Subaru ECUs. But if it's naturally aspirated, you can get more power by swapping that engine with an EJ20 turbo, and it's going to be quite fast. Those TSRs were actually really nice. I used to love them, and they were long, comfortable, and very well built. Cyrus Kibe, does Nissan Hardbody NP300 four-wheel drive has a rear diff lock? And four-wheel drive without a diff lock, can it be installed? Cyrus Kibe, I doubt the MP300 had a rear diff lock, but can you install a diff lock? Yes, you can always install an aftermarket diff lock. That is very much possible. However, why would you need to do that? Do you really need that diff lock, or do you want a diff lock? I think the answer to that question is what is going to determine whether it's worth spending the money. Ochieng Madron nasema live from Umoja 3 Nairobi. Eric, say hi to me. Niaje Ochieng, kofiti? Wazi. Bridget Mora, Nissan B13 with a 1.6 liter naona iko na 110 horsepower. Does it mean iko powerful than the Nissan Note Demio Fit and modern 1.3 liter economy cars? The B13 1.6 is 110 horsepower. I think you need to recheck the specific engine that it came with. Maybe Bridget, you can tell us more about the engine that it came with. But even if it was 110 horsepower, when you're talking about how fast a car is, there are so many things you need to look at. Number one, there's something we call power to weight ratio. Number two, there's the aspect of gearing. And number three, there is the aspect of how old an engine is. Because if, again, let me take you back to this Range Rover. Assuming this car is 10 years old, when it was zero mileage, the engine was maybe topped up at 110 horsepower. But two engine rebuilds later, there is no way it's going to churn out 110 horsepower. It will probably have gone down to 90. So there are so many variables that are at play here. But first of all, tell us which engine is it running on. David Kamondo, Honda Shuttle non-hybrid versus hybrid 28 model. I would definitely go for the non-hybrid. Harness level ameenda wapi? How reliable is the M57 engine? And how is the performance? I see many Nissan patrol engine swap. M57 is a solid engine from BMW and it's quite powerful as well. Calvin Queen's ameingia class 2 sahi. We have Anthony Kihagi, my 4A engine block Illinois, and I replaced with a 7A Slim. I didn't get much of a power improvement as I expected. Should I change the injectors and ECU pia? Also, the fuel consumption is through the roof. A 4A is 1600 cc. A 7A is 1800 cc. I would like to know which ECU are you running on. Are you running on the 7A ECU or on the 4A ECU? That is something that we also need to know. And the other thing is, are you having any vacuum losses? Are you having any, I mean, not vacuum losses, vacuum leaks? How was the swap done? I would also be very interested to know about that, because it can, but definitely you'll have an impact on the fuel economy. But that was a very smart swap. Kudos. I'll take a photo bana ututumie pale kwa namba yetu 0710844863. Peter Mukusu is saying, hey Eric, what's your pick between RAV4 2.4 2010 versus Subaru Forester 2010? The Subaru Forester 2010 should be the SH5, and comparing it to the RAV4 2.4, to be honest, the Forester is quite a well-built vehicle. It's fun to drive. Even the naturally aspirated one has a lower center of gravity, meaning it corners like a dream. The RAV4 on the other side, 2.4 liter CVT, not fun to drive, gives an old man vibe. The only setback with the 2.4 with the Forester is that it came with a Servotronic steering rack, and that sometimes gives people problems. So I think it's a matter of choice. But for me, I would go for the Forester because it comes with all-wheel driver standard. That's the only reason I would pick a Forester. I would not pick a RAV4 because it would make me look like a high school principal, which I'm not. Hata you can imagine umeenda ukiwa na ukiwa na RAV4 huwezi itwa sherehe za watu yang. Hizo unaanza kuitwa sherehe za zile ukiwa ushago, kuna zile mikutano za Kato Deep, nyumba 10. You see, you cannot go for shows such as Ngemi in RAV4 unless it's the latest 2020 yenye iko under the TNGA platform. Yeah, but the Forester hata ikiwa mzee, unaweza enda Forester Nation meets, even your network. Because network yako ukiwa young na uko na RAV4, utaanza kuvaa zile koti ziko na patch za brown huku kwa elbows. This jina ni ngumu. Haya, hii jina huyu msi ameuliza hii swali. Vipi Wakabi, what's your thought on the Mazda Atenza station wagon with a budget of 1.5 M versus a Nissan Tiana XL, both 2015 models? Kindly give me your insights. Manze, person with a hard name, huwezi compare kifo na usingizi. Definitely the Atenza takes it hands down. Na kwanza Atenza wagon, it's one of the best looking wagons we have in the Kenyan market. Tuendele, actually let me try to answer that, to read that name. Onim Aristide. Oh, okay. Sawa. Constantine Mungai anasema, hi Eric, my W202 is now very sluggish on the road. What can I do to improve the power and performance? I bet, which engine does it come with? If it's the M111, and it's an automatic transmission. You need to check your gearbox. They all start like that. Tuendelee. Edwin Ambani, was my Nissan Note e-Power or Honda Vezel affected well or badly with the new CRSP? Edwin Ambani, we had a comprehensive show on that. I believe your Nissan Note e-Power was impacted badly, but the Honda Vezel, depending on which one, are you 1, are you 3, are you 2, are you 4, kuna zenye hazikugongwa sana, kuna venye hata CRSP yake ilishuka. John Rukenya, why are you typing while deleting? Yeah, tuende kwa Intel writers. Hi cousin, using Thika oil inaweza kuwa na short term solution ya gari ina burn oil. Yes, it would be first aid. Yes, hiyo ni first aid. Hata see when I was in the matatu industry, that time kulikuwa na zile gari zilikuwa zinaitwa Shark, the LH100. So if you wanted to sell one na yako inakunywa oil, kuna kakitu kalikuwa kanaitwa motohani. Ulikuwa unaenda unaweka pale kwa oil, inakuwa thick. Mtu akikuja arev gari anaona hakuna moshi, anachukua gari lakini ngoja iende wiki mbili. Yeah, so yes, thicker oil is a temporary fix for a vehicle that is burning oil. Kibara wa Mafoko, is Toyota producing the ICs, and which Toyota is equivalent? I don't think the ICs is in production anymore. I haven't seen it for a long time, but we still got the Wish, I guess. I don't know if, I'm also not sure if the Wish is in production, bado. But yes, the Wish, I think they produced it later as compared to the ICs, but I will need to confirm. John Rukenya, hi Eric, between a Pajero IO and a Suzuki Escudo, which is the best considering reliability and fuel consumption, which is superior off-road? Hey, John, manze, you see, you cannot use the term best and mention a Pajero IO in that sentence. Si mzuri bana, si fiti. Please. But the Escudo is superior off-road. The Escudo, well, that Escudo, Escudo za kutoka 2014 zilikuwa fiti fuel economy, but hizo zingine za pre 2014 they were not very good with fuel economy, but they were very solid. One of them, the one with the H20 engine, the one thing about that engine is that it is very expensive. So yes, ni vizuri ukae ukijua hivyo. Sometimes it's good to know some of these things and to have them in mind. Band H family. Kwa wapi Band H family? Band H ameenda wapi? Why are guys typing while deleting? Hata Felix Osewe naona is typing while deleting. Band H, Wakabi, what are your sentiments on the second generation VN5 Livog? Also, what are the best ideal alternative for it? And is it possible we get a candid review on it? Yes, very soon we are going to arrange on a review on it. Let me not mention dates, but a few sentiments is that Subaru is not the same, especially after the new Subaru Global platform. I think there is such a platform wanajenga magari on. Also, Subaru as a manufacturer shifted its target market from enthusiasts to the people who are not enthusiasts but would ideally buy vehicles in mass. Unajua enthusiasts tunakuwa na shida moja tu, tunanunuanga magari, most of the time we are building what are called sheet boxes. And once look at the Evo 10s. Evo 10s were actually not, they should not be called Evolutions, but Evolution 9 all the way to Evo 1, those cars were amazing. And you see, people who bought them back then do not actually resell them. And that is why enthusiasts do not make economic sense for many manufacturers. And that is why Subaru had to shift base into building cars that are more family friendly, daily use car, daily drive cars. And yeah, that is what we are having today. That was we lost the frameless doors. We lost the automatic transmissions in the manuals. Now we have to cope with lineatronic CVTs that, when you're driving you feel like you're stamping on a piglet. But yeah, it's ndio dunia. We have to move with time. VC01, hey Eric, what What would you say about the VW Golf variant 2015, 2012 to 2015 Blue Motion as a first car? Usinunue VW variant locally used kama gari ya kwanza tafadhali. Agnes Ayoti, Subaru Forester Boxer and X-Brake. Hey, I think Agnes means e-Boxer. E-Boxer is a mild hybrid versus X-Brake. Kindly give the difference and which one you would go for. Personally, I would not even think about the SKE, the e-Boxer. Hiyo mimi hata haiwezi kuwa kwa list yangu. Mimi ni X-Brake to the blood, 2.5 liter of awesomeness. Unajua, and you see the problem with the SKE, and this is a problem I have with Subaru and Suzuki. It's not a full hybrid, it's a mild hybrid. So the impact on fuel economy on that mild hybrid is very little. It's not like the Toyota RAV4 hybrid or say the Outlander PHEV or which other SUV do you have a full hybrid? The Lexus hybrids. This one is a mild hybrid. So the impact is very little for that added complexity on the car. So for me, any day, anytime, X-Brake. That orange stitching manze, it's just huwa inaniua, huwa inanimalizanga tu. And then that 2.5 liter FB25, that engine is it's a beauty, especially when you're revving it high. Bwana. Sometimes you say you're going to save fuel, but unajua watu huku nje wanasema kila mtoto hukuja na sahani yake. Pia mimi husema kila gari hukuja na mafuta yake. So once you buy it, hautawahi stall. So never argue about fuel economy sana. Unajua ungekuwa unaangalia fuel economy ungenunua Alto. Namna gani? So yes, let's proceed with this question. So Agnes, I hope the question is answered. For me personally, X-Brake anytime. Dennis Oma, can I get a Toyota Wish 2009 upwards for a budget of 600k? Dennis, hapana. Karota Uganda, good evening family. Karibu sana Karota. Leo maswali ni mingi sana. And I can see, let me answer the question as Tom comes in on set. Ndio for the last 30 minutes tuende tupige story ya hizi vitu za the new duties. So Karota Uganda, Banange Sebo, karibu sana. Kuna jamaa aitwa RB ni aje Rico tuned in from Mombasa. Kuna episode majamaa fulani wa Australia wanajiita 4WD 24/7. Yeah, those are awesome friends of mine. Niliona Prado mzee na ile new one performing well kwa river crossing, although Ford iliingia limp mode. Hii manze ninawaambianga mkuje events kama Mad for Fun. This okay, if you want to subject a car to extreme off-roading, make sure it has minimal electronics. And that tells you kama wewe ni mtu wa off-road. That is why for me, when I'm going off-road, I would prefer, and again I repeat, I would prefer a vehicle kama Trooper. Gari hata haina ECU. You know, very good. Zinaitwa nini? Na by the way wase kuna super chat. I hope niliweka super chat pale, so unaweza cheza na super chat as well. So RB, yes. You cannot compare the Fords and the Prados bana. We need to wacha tuweke proper off-roaders na mall crawlers in different categories. So Noel Simbo, hey Eric, what's your take between a 2015 FB25 Outback and a Mazda CX-9? First of all, why would you compare a CX-9 to an Outback? I believe those cars are in different classes, different pricing points. Alafu tena kupata CX-9 Kenya ni ngumu, si rahisi. Wacha tuendelee. Alex Karanja, yani with a straight face umetandika RAV4 hivyo. Mimi sijaita, si sana, sometimes the facts. Tunasema tuko kwa system ya facts. Edwin Mayo is tuned in live from Mumias. Then we have Felix Breton. Hey Wakabi, kuna history ya swapping BWA engine kwa VW Golfs. What's your take? The BWA is mostly in Tiguans, right? And BWA is a proper upgrade, and I find it's a good swap for enthusiasts. But remember, pia unaangalia mfuko, si gari zote mtu hufanya. So ukifanya swap, piga research, sababu sometimes you get to do a swap, na ikifika katikati you have to spend a lot of money. Na talking about swaps, tuko na engineer Suleiman Wesonga, kijana wa Ingo ama aka the king of modifications. Wanafanyanga kazi hand in hand na jamaa anaitwa Jay's Garage. So they are good boys of mine. We have done amazing jobs on my cars. So yeah, thank you so much. And hapa tuko na Tom. Tom uko ndani? Tom uko ndani.
Yes.
Sasa kuna mtu aliuliza hapa kama Honda yake Vezel imepigwa na duty. Nikamwambia kuna moja imekuwa favored.
Yes.
Which one was that, Bwana Tom?
RU4.
RU4,
RU4 imepungua by a good margin.
Yes.
From almost 900k to around 642.
That's a good. Hiyo ni a very good margin. I think direct importation ni inabamba.
Yeah, inabamba.
And then guys are asking, they have seen some of those two questions hapa.
Yeah.
Because we are doing direct importation. What are we doing when quoting the prices right now?
We are giving the we have the proposed CRSP.
Yes.
Which already they have not yet started being used. So to be on the safe side, we are quoting with the highest of the two.
Yes.
Because it may come July 1st, then, for example, the court intervenes.
Yes.
So it means that we'll continue using the old CRSPs. It may also happen that the CRSPs are forced on us. We'll have no say.
Yes.
So we are quoting using the highest of the two. Between the old one and the new one, we quote with the highest. So if you say, if they give the lowest, you are safe. If it's the highest, you are ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, maybe Tom, I can also maybe add on to something. There was also this debate that also guys came up with, and wameuliza, how do we make sure that the client gets a transparent quote?
Okay.
And I told them, one is, for us, we do not get to pay the duty.
Yes.
CIF peke. Duty you pay directly to KRA. So wewe duty, unajua sasa it's a system generated payment.
Yes.
So that one you pay directly to. So for us, what we are dealing with mostly CIF. We will assist you with clearing the vehicle, but mkumbuke duty unalipa wapi ni wewe mwenyewe. Kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. So hiyo tunakuachianga.
Yes.
But we will give a proper guidance on even the payment, and even before the vehicle gets here, we'll give you a breakdown on the duty expected on the vehicle. Sindio Bwana Tom?
Yes, even for those who pay full payments. When we do an entry for duty payment, because the car comes in the name of the client, they get a notification in their email. Such an entry has been entered. You are supposed to pay this amount of money. Then once you pay, they will tell you you've paid. Once we get the release, we'll be told your consignment has been released. So even if you are the ones with the money, you'll be up to date. You'll know exactly what you've paid in duty.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So at least tumesikia kwa wale wanakuanga na hiyo swali. Allow me to pick also one question hapa tukiendelea Tom.
Yes.
Kuna jamaa anaitwa Felix Osewe. He's saying, "Hi Eric, I was glad to listen to you. Always asante sana Felix. Please review the final edition of the Mark X. Also, watafungulia age limits za mwaka wa magari kweli?" Sidhani.
I don't think so.
Sidhani.
Actually wanaweza punguza ikuwe 5.
The likely thing ni kupunguza miaka. Hata si kuongeza. But the final edition of the Mark X is quite something. It's a car that will be memorable to many. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to keep my Mark 2, because kuna vibe tu hizo gari zikuwa nayo yenye si, they are reliable, they are very comfortable, and even if they are not the fastest, they still offer that kanini of performance.
Yeah, sure.
Sijui Tom.
Yeah.
Haya, tuchukue swali lingine hapa. There is a guy called Ngige anasema, "Hi Eric, how is Land Cruiser hardtop for family and off-road?" You can never go wrong with a Land Cruiser bana.
Sure.
You can never go wrong with a Land Cruiser. So then there's a guy called Default Sam saying, budget 1 million with a KRA exemption certificate. What car can one get as a first time car owner? Na Tom, naweza taka uambie huyu jamaa ama huyu fan wetu, mwambie having a tax exemption does not mean that hulipi kitu.
Imaanishi hulipi kitu. Kuna, when you get that entry onto KRA, kuna some amount yenye natokanga nayo.
Yes.
But majority of the taxes utakuwa exempted. So utapata between 20 and 50,000.
Yes.
Depending on the car and depending on the value of the car basically. Yes, but hiyo budget yake si mbaya. You can get a Subaru before hiyo CRSP yake utapata iko hapo around inachezea hapo below $1 million. Yeah.
CAF ya, so kuna Subaru G4.
You can get okay, what else can you get? The
Peugeot 308
utapata.
Quick fast.
Yeah. Then zingine sasa tutaongelea tududu, the small ones. Kina Mazda Demio, Honda Fit, hizo zote ziko below the 1 million mark if you have the exemption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kuna jamaa hapa anaitwa The Fighting Chef. Another, good evening Eric. Will kunyambisha my B15 have any significant effect on the engine, keeping in mind that I'm only doing it in the exhaust without touching the engine? Yes, definitely. In hiyo kitu mnaweka spark plug kwa exhaust alafu inalipuka. You know, definitely it's going to affect the engine. So, there's also so there's Vince Bryan is saying, "Hi Wakabi, according to your longest interaction with different cars and how wild people do customize their cars, can someone transplant a Toyota engine into a different model like Mazda?" Yes, it's very possible. It is very possible, but sijui unaweza kuwa ukifanya hivyo kwa nini. So you know, there are so many questions here. There was a question that I had said I would I was saving for Tom. What's the approximate, Ivan Wambogo is asking, what's the approximate cost of KRA port charges and NTSA registration and clearing agent fees?
Roughly from around 65 to 75 there. Clearing, port charges, those DO, those small fees, plus the agency fee and registration, 65 to around 75 for the normal units, the small units. When you go to something like the Prados, you will find you are paying the port charges, the 80,000. So it will be upwards of 100K. Yeah.
Okay. So DJ huyu DJ anasema, "Hey Eric, what's you say about the SQ5 TDI and the TFSI?" Kwanza Tom analeta SQ5.
Yes.
So you have an SQ5 on the road, eh?
Yes.
In the sea. Yeah, tuwesema on the road. I think it boils down to personal preference, because with the TFSI, high revving, with the TDI, low revving but torque that can pull a house. So inalingana na wewe uko wapi. Silvana Sokwaro is saying, "Please help me compare turbo petrol and turbo diesel. Give a few insights on preferential scenarios." Well, turbo diesels are mostly for high torque applications. Let me say that. And with turbo diesels, you have the advantage of better fuel economy, because of the principle of combustion in a diesel engine, and that is ignition by compression. And the other thing is, well, if you move to the petrol side, petrol engines are higher revving. So for you to achieve like max torque, you need to rev a little bit higher. But one thing is that the running cost of a diesel, this may vary from time to time, but diesels may actually need some more tender love and care. However, turbo diesels hazijaanza juzi. Even my 1985 Isuzu Trooper is a turbo diesel. The Pajero 4D56s were turbo diesels. The 1KZ Toyotas were turbo diesels. So turbo diesels, the reason why we see so many turbo diesels is because adding a turbo to a diesel engine eliminates the traditional diesel lag that we have, and it gives you more torque, it gives you better fuel economy. A turbo diesel would actually be the perfect blend between fuel economy and performance. However, when we shift to the petrol ones, well, you will not have a cocktail of the two. Are we together? And if you do in a petrol engine, lazima kuna kitu utakuwa there must be an opportunity cost, and most of the time that opportunity cost is reliability. Look at Lenayasa is saying, hi Tom and Eric, what do you guys think about the new Subaru Outback duties from July? Outback unaona aje? Imeenda aje Outback by the way?
Outback is at around 1050. 1,050,000. So I think it's an increase.
Actually, the Outbacks, we talked about them last week. Yeah? I think most Subarus have gone down.
Yeah, most Subarus have gone down. Actually, I think it has maintained. You see, 1056.
Yes.
So for 1050, it means that it has maintained.
Subaru wamekuwa favored.
Wamekuwa favored by a big deal.
We have somebody by the name Panyako Idris saying, hello Wakabi, is it a good idea to buy a crashed car and build it to something good? With experience, it is. Without experience, stay away from that. Tom. Kama una experience some of these things, ni kama kuna jamaa aliwahi tuambia during our younger years.
Yeah.
So this guy used to be a chain smoker. Alikuwa anakuja anatuambia, if you have started, don't stop. But if you have not started, don't start. So that's the same advice I'll give to Bwana Panyako. Yeah. So Michael Njoroge was asking about the Nissan Fuga 2.5, 2006, 2009, and the Mark X of the same period. I would definitely go for a Mark X any time. Constantine was saying his W202 is a M111. Would you advise adding an ECU to the fuel injections to add power and performance on the road? I would term that to be an economical kidogo. Sometimes unajua Tom, kuna mods unaenda kufanya gari unaona hata heri ununue gari ingine.
Ununue gari ingine.
They are not there's a guy called Nicholas Githinji who wants me to talk about the Subaru Forester X-Brake. Na hii gari bwana, it's a good car. I can only say it's a nice car.
It's a nice car.
The X-Brake tumeleta moja na Tom na ikaenda kule Kapsabet.
Yeah.
Na it's a beautiful car. Collins Muriel is saying, is the Peugeot 508 2019 a good car for a fast car? I would not recommend. 508 for a fast car. But we need to differentiate between fast car and driving experience. Kama una driving experience, wachana hiyo kitu. Achana nayo juu utagongesha taa. Ama some of these things. But I think when you're starting the car ownership journey, start with something easy.
Yeah.
Tomo ulianza na gani?
Nilianza na Subaru Anesis.
Yes. Bas. Unaona? Sasa
that was more. Japanese cars are forgiving.
Very forgiving.
Yes.
But the Europeans are very unforgiving.
Yeah, sure.
Jim Dukes is saying between the E250 and the Volkswagen Arteon R, which one is better in terms of comfort and reliability? Hey, Jim, if you're buying these two cars, I don't think reliability would be an issue because these are ostentatious cars. But in terms of comfort, I think the E250 is ahead of, it's way ahead.
Yeah, it's ahead.
The Artiol is designed for performance. Si ndio?
Yeah, sure.
No, Tom. Kuna mtu alikuwa anauliza hapa kuhusu na kuna jamaa anasema how reliable is a Peugeot 207 in terms of using it for Uber? You cannot use a 207 for Uber because it's old.
Yeah, it's old.
207s are very old. They cannot be allowed.
Unless he meant the 208.
208 nayo kuingiza Uber. Ai. Acha tuache kidogo Tom. Turudi kwa hii mambo ya the new CRSPs.
Yes.
Which cars do you think have been hit hardest?
The small cars. The small cars. Kina Vitz, kina Not. Gari zenye tunasema za mkulima mdogo. They've really been hit hard. Very hard. So if you compare that with the bigger cars, kina Land Cruiser Prado, kina Tiguan, which imepungua, you will see that the small cars have really been hit.
Imegongwa sana.
Sana.
Okay. And this is something I would like us to talk about. So Tom and I have a client we are shipping for, courtesy of the Auto Konnekt and Grand Motor Imports partnership. We have a client we are shipping a Suzuki Escudo for.
Yeah.
And just to be specific, because there is an intricacy I would like Tom maybe to address here. It might affect several people. The auction sheet, the vehicle was clean, but it came from a port city that is very, very snowy.
Yes.
Hokkaido. Right?
Yeah.
So what are the, and I remember us explaining to the client that we would need to send someone to inspect the car again.
Yes.
Based on not what is on the auction sheet.
Yeah.
But also have our own independent inspection in Japan. You see, the same thing we do for Thailand.
Yeah.
We have to send someone to go and physically inspect the vehicle. So what do you call them? What are those things that you would like clients to note whenever they're importing a car? Sababu unajua most guys will go to these sites and they'll buy a car not factoring in where it's coming from, which city in Japan it's coming from.
Yeah. So it's good to deal with shippers that are very open and that are not afraid of telling you this unit it's bad, or we'll need to check more on this unit. It saves you a lot, because that car was a grade 4, very clean auction sheet, but they told me, wait a bit, we've seen the city where this car is from is a snowy city, and they've not mentioned anything to do with rust. Most cars come with rust. Rust, you cannot avoid rust. What we normally check for is unapata kuna gari zimeisha kabisa, unapata hiyo gari imekulwa na rust kabisa. Rust kidogo si shida, but ukipata imekula suspension ikamaliza, hiyo si gari unaweza taka kuletea mtu. So what they basically told me is wacha we do a further confirmation, tuone kama hii gari the level of rust ama kama iko nayo, then after they confirmed iko sawa, they went ahead and bought it. Yeah. And also something else, though the auction sheet factors in the tire tread na inapewa pia grading, saa zingine unaweza pata gari ni grade 4.5 but the tires hata hazijaratiwa. Saa zingine unapata auction sheet ina rating ya tires, so you don't know the depth of the tires. So hiyo time tunakwanga open na client, tunamwambia hii gari iko sawa, but tires should not make us not buy a good car. What happens when we buy the car from the auction, it will be shipped to the shipper's yard. At that place, before now we book it for QSJ, they will do a thorough check on the small tear and wear parts that can make the car fail. Then they will list them for us. For example, tires. Sometimes we find the brakes are worn out. Those are things that we can change from the shipper's yard that do not necessarily affect the quality of the car. Yeah.
Sawa. Na sasa kuna jamaa anaitwa Kalas pale.
Yeah.
Anasema how much is the Suzuki Escudo that you have shipped?
That one it's coming for around 2.911.
Yes.
To be specific. It's a 2019. We used the higher duty.
Yes.
That is what we quoted for the client to avoid conflicts when the car gets here. And also he went for a very low mileage car, around 33,000.
Yeah.
So that is the amount that the client will pay for the car.
Yeah. Actually, they ought to know that that particular one is expensive because even of the features that it came with.
Yes.
The color. It's a very unique vehicle.
Yeah.
But unajua hata ukitaka ya 2.5 ziko, vibakuli viko. Mkitaka vibakuli pia vinaingia. I can see the first guy with a super chat, Joyfree Kamau. Amecheza na super chat pale. Asante sana bwana Joyfree. But then you guys mnaweza cheza na super chat pale and you can contribute to the growth of the channel. Ndio tuone mahali ingine Tom.
Yes.
And this is so have you ever had an instance where, because we have got this several times.
Yes.
A person goes to the Japanese site, buys a vehicle, then in a failed QSJ.
Yes. It happens.
Na sasa what maybe we also have people who kuna watu roho juu wanasema nataka kujiletea mimi mwenyewe nataka kujiletea. What would be your advice to that? Because sometimes it's we are not stingy with information.
Yes.
But one thing nimeona watu wana fail sana. You go buy a car, ikifika huku rust manzee unaanza kuchange hadi bush haiwezi toka kwa arm. Nimeona there is a Subaru that came to the garage the other day.
Yeah.
And you cannot even hata tulikuwa tunainua gari kidogo. So hapa juu ya shock kuna kuanga na ile shock mount. Hata bolt haiwezi toka.
Haiwezi toka.
Because imerust hadi imeshikana na hiyo. So we had to change the whole shock and the mount. Huwezi change hata bush, imekulika kabisa. And yet these are fresh imports. Yeah,
it happens. If you don't do a thorough check in Japan, utabandikwa tu kitu. Yeah, and that is why we are very keen na kuziangalia before. Look at it. Especially unajua kuna vitu wezi ona kwa auction sheet. Auction sheet sometimes inaweza miss vitu kama engine noise. Ikiwa mtu hakusikiza hiyo engine vizuri. Kuna time we listen to the engine, unasikia hiyo gari hata kama ija knock, there's something, especially the diesels. There's something shipa wetu upenda kuniambia, this one it has some funny engine noise, let's cancel it. Anaambia client alikuwa ameipenda, ana feel ni kama unajua mtu akishachagua gari ameinini kabisa. Tunamwambia it's better tutaminatie huko kuliko tufike hapa Mombasa tupate hiyo gari iwezi fika Nairobi.
Does have a very different
that would be a very different conversation. Yeah.
Naona bana watu wanacheza na super chat pale sana bana. Thank you so much guys. So Agnes is asking a very interesting. Ivan asante sana pia. Agnes is asking a very important question here. How much was the Subaru X-Brake you shipped to? Actually it went to Kapsabet, not Kapseret. Kapseret huko watu wanapewa nduthi na bisiagi. But that one went to Kapsabet, not Kapseret.
Yes.
It came to around 3.6.
Yeah, around 3.6.
3.6 million.
Yes.
But it was one hell of a clean car.
Yes.
Actually hadi mimi na miss your gari. Like I had a deep connection with that
The drive from Nairobi.
The drive from Nairobi, manze, it was a beautiful car. But even the spec ilikuwa tofauti sana hiyo gari.
Yeah.
The paint was unique. Very unique.
Yes.
And it was actually an aftermarket paint job. Si unakumbuka tukifanya hivyo tukaona but sidhani Kenya kuna gari iko na paint job kama hiyo.
Hiyo gari ilikuwa imesimama.
Ilikuwa imesimama. So if you're thinking of getting wachana na SKE, get an X brake, the orange
X-brake.
stitching. Yeah. Francis Gakumo is asking, what about buying leo kwa nini watu wana type while deleting? Ana ameenda na message retracted. So let me also pick another question. Najua wase wanataka kwenda kuwatch news. Today by the way is one of those days when people want to watch the news. But maybe I would like maybe we can have some parting shots. But Joseph Maina asked a question, why AWD lose power when the propeller shaft is removed? Definitely it will lose power because now you do not have the extra traction you had.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely going to happen. So Tom,
Yes.
so far so good. We have this partnership has been quite we have tumefanya kazi. And I think magari tumeleta, tunazidi kuzileta.
We have a very big pipeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watu naona pale support wanatupatia.
We appreciate.
Sijui Samuel anauliza nini? Anasema dare to sielewi. Kuongea tu kweli hapo sielewi. So Tom, what would you as an importation consultant, what do you do, how do you think we are going to circumnavigate this increased CRSP? Do we try and get better deals when it comes to CIF? What do you think? What's the way forward?
That's one way of looking at it. We can try and get better deals from Japan, and as we also rally to have those things reconsidered.
Yes.
Even if we are going to have an increase in the CRSP, not with the magnitude that we are seeing, that thing needs to be checked, looked at again, because we may have some cars being extinct.
Really?
Because how, if you tell me to import an XC90 with a CRSP of 20 million, what are you saying? What are you saying? Yeah. So I think it needs to be reconsidered. Yes, as we also try to raise our revenues, as the government tries to raise revenue through taxes, Samagari, they also need to consider the industry. Sustainability. Let's not kill the industry.
Yes.
Yes.
Steve Biko alikuwa anasema M54 engine reliability, it's not a bad engine sana kwa BMW, but you know BMW and the electronics. Yeah. But the M54 is it's a beautiful engine. I love the M54. But again, is the question about the engine or the car? Sababu unajua pia some of these engines they are very reliable in some models, in others zinatupa mbao kabisa. A parting shot from kuna jamaa hapa alikuwa anauliza swali na alikuwa anasema, Ivan Wambugu is saying, I saw Renault and Peugeot have not so bad CRSPs. What do you think about them? I think they are nice cars.
They're nice cars. I have two of them.
Yeah, two Peugeots.
And it's been good new for around a year or two. Yeah.
Okay. George Chege is asking, how much will duty be based on the new CRSP on the 2019 RAV4 and the 2018 Lexus NX300H?
I have not checked for that. You can answer another one as I check for that.
Okay, so George, just a moment before to end our coach news. The 2019 RAV4, but RAV4s are
RAV4 sidhani kama zimeongezeka.
Lakini bei ya RAV4 bana. Bei ya RAV4.
RAV4. The 4-wheel drive.
RAV4 mpatie RAV4 inaitangwa what?
X54 something 54.
Yes. Na pia kwa Lexus NX300H.
Those Lexus usually have very high duties.
Kwa nini wanaweka Lexus duty kwa juu hivyo, Mr. Tom?
It's assumed ni luxury. It's the luxury brand ya Toyota.
Okay. Oh yes, yes, and as Jose Nderi also asked about car grading specifics. I think that is a discussion we had
Yes.
about the grades. But as we normally say, 6 is brand new,
Mm-hmm.
5 is a fairly good car,
It's a fairly good car.
4.5 actually from 4 to
4 to
upwards. Those are good
are
cars.
good cars.
Even 3.5 is
3.5 is not that bad.
it's not that bad.
But when you get to 3, 2, 1,
RA,
RA is not bad
RA,
because it's
okay, yes.
repaired and graded A. R is it's not good enough. Si mzuri because
R ni
it's been-
kibakuli.
ni kibakuli. Then sometimes
Yes.
you may find a car is graded R, and you have to look at the auction sheet and the car. Unaweza pata imewekwa R juu ya panel ilikuwa replaced. So even pia ukiinterpret the auction sheet, you need some experience kujua not always R itakuwa mbaya. Unaweza pata it's a repaired car na it was done very well. The problem comes when the repainting job was done badly. Unapata imewekwa W3, unapata bado dent ijakuwa repaired, unapata ni U3 something.
Yes.
Sometimes you find it's graded R but it's a panel that was replaced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So I hope tumejibu hiyo swali.
Yeah.
Wambogo wanasema nini? Oh, Wambogo is saying my friend and I have created a portal for accurate CRSP KRA duty. So nani unaweza tumia hiyo link or you can post it on the, you know, when you post it, watch a live iishe, post it on the comments, because when you post it here after the live broadcast imeisha, you will lose it. So send it to us so that we can pin it to the comments, and you can also put it up in the ndakuwekea kwa description, by the way, Ivan. Asante sana for creating that.
That's a very good initiative.
It's a very
lot
good
of work, by the way.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
It's a lot of work.
Alafu Tom, uliona kwa hiyo news ya RSP kuna hadi spelling mistake ya magari zingine
Sana.
kama Dodge Challenger ni kama iliwekwa hapo na Mkikuyu. Imeandikwa Challenger lakini wameweka R.
Wameweka R.
Wameweka R pale. Hey bwana.
Then the shape za magari pia 308 imeitwa SUV. Unapata kuna so many errors.
So Tom, tulikuwa kwa hiyo duty ya RAV4 umeipata?
RAV4 nimepata ni around it's around 870.
870. Haya, RX 300H.
It's a 300. I checked for 200. 300H. So
Dr. Dumbbell, as Tom looks for the 300H, please advise on a good car for 500,000 for first time car owner. Sana hiyo itaingia Tida ama Corolla 110. Tida, with a Tida you will get a newer car, but you also have to be very careful on the Tida you buy. Yeah. Sawa.
Funny enough, they've not indicated the H part.
Yes.
But I think what we have here is the RX 300 F Sport only. So you see they've omitted something there.
Yes.
It has a CRSP of 9.7.
9.7 million.
So the duty will be for 2018. We'll be talking about just a minute. That's quite high.
Could you?
It's quite high. You are talking about around 1.56.
Sawa. So guys, it's 9:08. We are done with this week's live broadcast. Remember, we are going to give you more in-depth the content on the new CRSPs and what to expect and even how to maneuver. Also pia tutaangalia the approximate costs that we might see in the market very soon, but at least remember you can import a car with us. We have an Konnekt Grande Motor Imports partnership, and so far so good, tumeleta magari kadhaa na kuna zingine ziko kwa njia. Thank you so much guys for trusting us with your direct importation, and One thing I'll keep on telling you is that we are trying our best to make sure that we import cars in a hassle-free, safe, and convenient way,
Way.
and not compromising on quality. Kama unaleta hybrid, by the way, if you're bringing a hybrid Toyota,
Yes.
we are mambo ya warranty hatujamaliza. 18-month warranty.
Yes.
1 year, 6 months on the hybrid drivetrain. So thank you so much for joining us. Santeni sana. See you next Wednesday. But remember, we have something new coming up. Over and out, guys. See you next week.